Hi, welcome to Hospitality Live with Rupesh. Each week, we feature an industry leader that will share the latest trends and the best strategies to help you grow. Now, welcome your host, Rupesh Patel.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. All right, kick this off. Guys, welcome to the show. How are you guys doing? This is episode number 53. And I can't hear myself. Oh no, I cannot hear myself. Guys, can you hear me? Comment if you can hear me because I cannot hear myself on this show. Guys, comment, let us know where you're watching from. And hang on 1 second while I fix my, while I fix my audio. If you can hear me, hit the comment button. Let me know you can hear me. And let me just see if I can quickly fix my comment or my, all right, now can you hear me? Yes, no, maybe. All right, I think we're all set. Hang on a second. Let me make sure. Audio. No, yes. I guess it's working. All right, well, I'm not gonna worry about it. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. I guess it's loud and clear. Everyone is saying good morning. Hey, good morning to Frank, Evan, Jade, Chad, Evan, Melissa, Christopher, Elman, Varun. Guys, welcome to the show. Guys, comment and let us know where you're watching from. This is episode number 53, and I'm going to probably put these away for the time being as long as you guys can hear me. I'm super excited about it. Hey, listen, we have somebody watching from Thailand, Massachusetts. Guys, comment and let me know what city or country you're watching from. I see DR. Good morning, Egypt. Exciting, guys. This episode I am super excited about because it's near and dear to my heart, and it talks about being the hotel general manager, being the leader at your property or at a property. So guys, comment and let me know where you're watching from. Good morning to Heather from Chicago, Charles from Columbus. Morning, Jay. Man, there's so many amazing people on. I know a lot of, hey, good morning, Shamika. Dubai, Atlanta. What's up, Jeremy? Hyderabad, India, Oklahoma, Mumbai. Hey, welcome to the show, Bermuda. First time, I think this is the first time somebody's watching from Bermuda. Good morning from Canada. Our featured guest is from Canada this morning, so I'm excited about that. Guys, welcome to the show. This episode is number 53. It's the road to recovery, how to become a hotel general manager. This topic has been super, super important to a lot of you, and it's important to me too because I've had at least, like several dozen people email me or message me saying, hey, how do I become a hotel manager? I'm the front desk manager, supervisor, and I want to become the hotel general manager. And I'm like, yes. And I always send them a message like, here's what to do. Here's how to do it. Here's how to get started. And then all of a sudden, they are taking the path of becoming the hotel general manager, which is super exciting for me. Hold on a minute. Super exciting for me. And guys, if you've ever dreamt of becoming a hotel manager, this episode is just for you. Or if you're a hotel manager already, it's also going to help you grow your career. You're going to find out 10 habits every hotel leader needs to have, must have, uncover skills that you need to know right now as we get through this pandemic and grow our career and get back into business, and then how to become a great leader. And so we're going to be sharing a lot of these cool things. Guys, I am giving away a $50 gift card to smartguests.com, and I'm going to bring up our sponsor here this week. And our sponsor is smartguests.com. Guys, hit up smartguests.com right here. And I got it right when I'm pointing to because I always mess it up. Smart Guests keeps their guests safe with communication tools, operations tools, marketing. If you want better reviews, more reviews for your hotel, hit up smartguests.com. They have a bunch of tools that are going to keep your guests satisfied, well communicated, and improve your overall operations. Guys, bookmark smartguests.com. Thank you so much. They make this possible. This show possible, and thank you so much, guys. All right, so now every week I share a mindset, and let me see if I can just pull it up really quickly because I think it's super important that we kind of go through this. Let's see if it's right here. I think it is. Let me see. I think I got the right one. No, I didn't. I got the wrong one. Hang on a second. So this week's mindset is about hospitality people are not quitters. And what does that mean? Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Sorry. I think it's important that we do share this because we're in the business, and it's often confusing. And all right, here it is. So I said this 2 days ago. I said, it's amazing to see so many amazing hospitality people keep going. We are not quitters. Hospitality people are not quitters. We keep going. And look, over 1,000 people liked it, 63 people commented, and over 27,000 people viewed this post, and they agreed. Like, we all of us, if you have a job, if you don't have a job, if you're looking, whatever, we keep going. We're one of the groups of industries that we don't stop. We don't quit. We keep going. We look for temporary jobs. We out there side hustling. Everybody has a side hustle, including myself. I have a few side hustles that I just keep myself going, other passions that I'm passionate about, and it provides value to somebody else. And it also provides me some income on the side, which is amazing, right? We all have these passions. Might as well start a side career. And I always believe that for everybody. So guys, comment and let me know which side career you have that you're kind of going through, and share it. Maybe it might help somebody else on this show. And maybe they're like, you know what? I do need a side hustle that we could keep ourselves going. So guys, comment and let me know if you do have a side hustle. And all right, I'm going to continue seeing who. Yeah, Katie, absolutely. She says, good morning. No quitting. 100%. Like, there were days that I was like, oh my God, like, what's happening to our industry? And I'm going to quit. Like, I just don't want to do this anymore. And there are days that, and sometimes a couple times a week, even now, I'm like, why am I doing this? Right? Do you get into that like period of like, what am I doing with my life? And why am I doing this? And I think it's kind of normal. And it's called life, right? And you have your highs and you have your lows, but guess what? We do not quit. And that's the best part about our mindset when we have that. Like, hospitality people never quit, right? And that's me, and hopefully that's you too. So guys, oh man, there's so many comments. I want to post, hold on, I want to bring some of these up. Yeah, everyone says, yeah, we don't quit. Welcome to the show, guys. All right, so now this is the episode that you are interested in watching, and I'm super excited and interested in sharing this with you. It is, and by the way, guys, the most active person on this LinkedIn live, is gonna win a $50 gift card. So guys, comment and let us know. The most engaging person will win at the end. I'm gonna pick a winner. We're gonna pick a winner, and before the show is over. All right, so this week we're talking about how to become a hotel manager, an award-winning hotel manager, with my guest, and let me bring him on right now. Todd, welcome to the show. Todd Nafta. He is in Canada. He's in Toronto, one of my favorite cities, with the probably amazing, with great food.
Fantastic food. Great people also.
Yeah, hey, welcome to the show. Todd, tell us a little about yourself. I know you're a 9-time award-winning general manager at a Hilton property, and you're just super passionate about hospitality, guest service. You love a lot of different things within hospitality. And I've been following you for quite some time, and I love your posts, and I love everything you do on social media, especially here on LinkedIn. Share your background and let us know how you got started in hospitality.
Well, thanks a lot for that, Rupesh. I mean, back in the early days of LinkedIn, before everybody was grinding and hustling, I'd follow you and Steve as well. You guys put out some very good, customer service posts and things about leadership and hospitality. And that's really kind of how I found my voice on this platform. So you were certainly one of the first people I started following, and haven't stopped since. And I would obviously encourage everybody who's watching to follow you. But for my start in the industry, a long time ago, a friend of mine told me that the Toronto Marriott Eaton Center, a hotel in downtown Toronto, was having this job fair. And he says, let's go apply for a job. I'm like, yeah, okay, perfect, no problem. So we go down there and we go through the first screening interview, because the hotel hasn't opened yet. And so we go through the first screening interview. We make it through there, and they say, come on back at around 3 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, okay, no problem. And so it was around 11. And so we go out, have some lunch, we're walking around town. So it's getting close to 3 o'clock, and we say, okay, well, we need to kind of get moving here, get back for the interview. We weren't paying attention to where the second interview was going to be held. So he says, I think we're supposed to go to the hotel. So now the hotel is a construction site. Hasn't been finished yet. And I said, well, I'm not entirely sure about that. But we walk onto the construction site. The lobby is half done. There's no carpet. There's some facings up on some pillars, but it clearly wasn't the spot we were supposed to be. So we go up on the 5th floor, come off on the guest floors, and there's nothing but steel studs, barely some drywall. And it's now after 3 o'clock, and we've realized we're in the wrong place. run across the street, go back to where the job fair was, and explain our story. Everyone has a laugh. They give us a second chance. We come in, go for the interview. I bombed the interview. It was by far my worst interview in the history of interviews.
Wait. Let's understand what bomb means, because people, we all have been through interviews and we're like, oh, I did make it, or I didn't answer all the questions right. Like, what happened?
Well, so she's asking me some of the basic questions, about experience. And at this point, I had maybe gone through only one interview before that. So I had done no prep. I haven't practiced, I haven't rehearsed. I now know the strength in that. And I tell students that all the time: make sure you practice, make sure you rehearse. So she's asking me some questions. I remember one question specifically. She says, well, describe yourself. And I said, oh, I'm always on time. I'm a great coworker. I'm hardworking. I'm organized. And I'm thinking, I nailed it. And then she comes over the top and she says, okay, well, can you give me an example of hardworking? I said, what? and so it went pretty much downhill from then on. Fast forward 5 years later, my friend who's still working there, he says, Todd, goes, they're hiring for a third shift room service server. And I said, room service? Yeah, I can do that. So he tells me about the job, and I said, well, what's this third shift thing all about? Like, what's that mean? He says, well, it's from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. I said, man, you got to be kidding me. I'm not working that. Forget it, right? I wanted to work in the front desk where the action was.
Yeah.
He says, come on in. He goes, you never know what's going to happen. So went in for the interview. A night and day scenario, made an immediate connection with Dwayne Adams, who was the director of restaurants at the time. Had a fantastic interview. Yada, yada, yada. Here I am speaking with you today.
Awesome. Well,
it was a great interview.
Yeah, and then you've had a lot of experience, and people think, oh, hotel GM is either hard or easy. Like, oh, it's just easy. I see them in their office, or I see them doing this, and they're walking around, and they're not really doing too much. I could do that job. Or it's the other way, like, oh my God, these guys are working a 5-star hotel or whatever star hotel, and I don't want to do that because I don't want to work 16, 20 hours a day, sometimes 3 shifts in a row, sometimes, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 months straight. Without really some time off. And so it's both ways, right? And I feel like I was a general manager in the past too, so I know exactly what, if you're a general manager right now, what you're going through and what your goal is in the future. Because I had those goals of like, oh, I want to do this, or I want to lead this team and all that stuff. And it's a lot of work, right? It is a lot of work. It's not easy.
No, it's not. And you're right. It is hard, and it is easy. I mean, it's as hard as you make it, and it's as easy as you make it. You're right. The hard part is if you're not organized enough, if you don't rely enough on your team, and it becomes a little easier when you hire the right people and when you have a good team around you that can really execute what you want to have happen, and bring your brand's philosophy and style to life. But it really involves bringing the right people around you, making your job easier.
Right. All right. So let's get into it. How to become a hotel general manager. Now, either you worked in a department at a hotel, like you're not going to just be on the road or at another position in another industry and all of a sudden think that you're going to get into this general manager's position overnight, right? That rarely happens. Is that true?
That's 100% true. So many people, when they come out of university or college, and they think, okay, well, I'm going to be a GM, or I'm going to be a director of this, or I'll be a regional that. It really doesn't work that way. The hotel is a meritocracy. I mean, it really is experience based. It's about what you know, and really how you apply what you know. I mean, when I started in room service, I remember having a conversation about 10 months into my term there. I knew then that I wanted to be a GM, and I didn't know exactly how to do it, but I just knew I wanted to, and I had a goal. By the time I was 40, I wanted to be a general manager, and so so there were certain things I had to do along the way. I mean, clearly I changed positions over the years, but still stuck in food and beverage for about 12 years. And I remember having a conversation with one of my general managers. He says, "Look, if you want to be a GM, you need to have experience in all facets of the hotel." And so a night manager position became available at that hotel, and I took that. And so I had to learn about rooms, and I had to learn about housekeeping, I had to learn about loss prevention. Yeah. Being the PM GM really kind of gives you a lot more experience, and that prepared me for the future steps along the way.
Yeah, 100%. There are ways to fast track your GM position or your career. Like you, within 6 months or a year, you could be a general manager at maybe a smaller hotel or maybe a big hotel. When you seek that opportunity seeks you. I always feel like you have to be at the right place at the right time. And then you have to understand there's an opportunity here and go for it instead of waiting for it to come to you. And, you know, those GMs that are GMs right now, they didn't wait around. They went and, you know, stuck out, or is it snuck or seeked out this opportunity, right? And I always believe that if you want something, go out and get it, right? And that's a mindset that all of us have to put in, especially right now where it's not a great time for the hotel industry or hospitality in general. But, you know, for the majority of people I've spoken to, the GM has stayed on as the lead, as the leader, as the person driving the ship. So they haven't really gotten furloughed off of theirs or been, you know, laid off, which has been good. So this particular topic can help a lot of people where they're like, you know what, I'm going to become a GM eventually. I'm going to be a leader. And guys, let us know if you guys agree with this, where, you know, a GM does lead a team with all these different experiences, and you have to kind of understand each department. It's not just like, oh yeah, I understand the front desk and now I'm going to be the general manager. You have to work in housekeeping. Like I've cleaned rooms for a long time.
Yep, that's right.
Laundry,
that's right.
all those things.
No doubt about that. And I think when you said, you know, you have to, you know, take some risks and take on some new opportunities. I mean, I had worked in food and beverage. I had opened up restaurants, closed restaurants, redesigned menus. You know, I was really good in food and beverage, but I knew that wasn't going to make it for me. I knew I had to learn rooms. Full disclosure, I didn't want to work in housekeeping. It's by far the hardest job in a hotel, and I didn't want to do that. So when a front desk position became available, the night manager, you know what? Let me apply for that. Got that job, thankfully, and I stayed in that role for 2 years. Learned whatever I could about the front office. Learned about housekeeping, obviously, like I said, loss prevention, and how to be how to manage myself, how to manage my time, and also manage other departments. And so that really prepared me for my next job, which was the assistant general manager at a Residence Inn. But I agree with what you said about a smaller hotel. Limited service or a select service, they will give you the best bang for your buck in terms of experience and learning the overall facet and operation of a hotel. A hotel is a hotel. I mean, it's just all about a matter of scale. You know, so if you go into like a Hampton or a Hilton Garden Inn or a Courtyard or a Fairfield, you can learn a lot more about the operation and get exposed to so much more.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I think you have to start and understand all the positions, and everyone agrees. Guys, do you guys agree that you have to at least have an understanding of each position, the departments in the hotel, so you see what it takes to become a housekeeper, maybe work a week or 2 or 3 or a month, and understand what it means to become a leader in the housekeeping department, because there's a lot of different things happening within housekeeping alone. Maintenance always never gets love like they should, and they're one of the hardest people that are working behind the housekeepers, where they're fixing stuff all day long, right?
Without a doubt. You know, and keep in mind that whenever you go into a new hotel, right, you're going to spend time in some of those areas. So aside from just knowing what the general tasks of the job is, you also have to know the people. You know what their strengths, what their weaknesses are, really how you can motivate them. But I agree, you know, you really do you don't have to be an expert housekeeper. You don't have to be the best at checking somebody in or a world-class bartender or server, but you do have to know how to do the job. So you can frankly, so you can hold people accountable when a job's not done well, but also so you can understand some of the challenges that they have in doing their job, and you can empathize with and relate to them.
100%. All right, so I'm gonna, in the comments while we're continue talking, what is your hotel, guys? All the guys listening, there's a lot of people on here from all over the world. What hotel would be your dream job, your GM dream job? And guys, comment and let us know what hotel it would be. And I would love to just like hear, like, I would love to be working for this hotel brand or this location. I know we all have those dreams, and I would want to be on a resort somewhere on an island by the beach.
That would be mine.
Peninsula or somewhere, just taking care of people that are on vacation, making great experiences for them. So that would be like my thing. But guys, comment and let us know, and then we'll go on to what different departments you have to understand. we made a short list, and we were like, what could it be that you need to understand? Because people send me a message like, I want to be the general manager. They're like, what should I learn? And I came up with at least 7. There's a lot more, and we're trying to keep this episode short and sweet. And so the first one is operations, right? The first one is operations. Understand what it takes to operate a hotel all together. Like overall, what can you add to that, Todd?
I think, it's more than just knowing how to check somebody in. It's more than just knowing how to make a bed. It's understanding how those two departments relate to each other. It's understanding the internal dynamics between engineering and front desk, or the restaurant and housekeeping. All those departments relate to one another in some form or fashion, and so it's really understanding that relationship. Aside from just the technical part of the A to B of doing a job, it's understanding the greater role that a set department or a position has in the operation of the property. That's what I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry. So the second one is accounting and budgeting. Now, if you want to understand budgeting, and your budget season's coming up right now, listen to last week's show with David Lund. He was on explaining how to create a budget for a hotel. And these are the things you need to understand if you want to become a GM, because the owners of the property are going to look to you to say, are we in line with our budget? Do you understand our numbers? Or are you just selling rooms and cleaning rooms and that's it, right?
Yeah, exactly right. I think with the accounting and the budgeting piece, I mean, sure, your property will have, depending upon the size of it, a director of finance and accounting or a controller, right? But to get total buy-in, you need to share that information with the department heads. Make them accountable, make them responsible for their budget. Here's what your budget is on your controllables or for your expenses for this, for this period, for this month. Here's how much you can spend in guest linen. Here's how much you can spend on guest supplies, and give them the responsibility. People want to be involved in the process. They want to have input, and it builds up their morale. Overall, it just helps the team for sure. But share that information and involve your team in that.
Absolutely. All right. So the next one is sales and marketing. Now, for me, I love marketing, because you can sell almost anything in this world if you have a great product. First of all, you can't have a really crappy product. You have to have a decent, meets expectations. Maybe it goes above expectations. You have to have that as a minimum. But
yes.
Then if you can roll in marketing, customer service into those things, especially sales and marketing, you could be the leader in your space, right? And this is for anything, especially hospitality. So what do you say as far as the sales and marketing kind of skills that you need to be a general manager?
Well, I mean, again, you don't need to be the world's best sales manager. You're going to probably have a director of sales, but as a general manager, you have to be involved in that process. And, whether it's sales sites that your sales team has organized for people coming to the property, be involved in that process. Walk out there, walk the property with them, be available, be present with the client, or even going out to visit your corporate clients, your corporate clientele. Go with your sales manager, go with your director of sales. Don't just send them out, because it's working sales is all about building a relationship. And so as a general manager, that's also what your job is. Your job is to build that relationship with clients and with your guests. I remember this one example we had. There was a insurance company that opened up down the street from where our hotel was. And so I got the director of sales and a sales manager. I said, let's get a plate of cookies. We're just going to walk down there. This is not a sales call. We're just going to walk down there. We're going to welcome them to the area. We're not even going to, we'll have business cards on us, but we're not going to make a push. We're not going to sell them anything. We just want to welcome them to the area and let them know where we are. And if they need to reach us, they can reach us anytime. And that's all we did. We started getting reservations the next week from that. And then we furthered that relationship.
Yeah, it's all about relationships. Sometimes you could be a higher price. Maybe they weren't exactly looking for this as far as a property, but guess what? You always do business with friends that people that you trust, people that you've built a rapport with. And I love that you can do that within the hotel business. So as a general manager, it's important to understand the sales and marketing side of things. And yes, building relationships is 100% about sales and definitely about marketing. And then, like you were saying earlier, I like that you said that you don't have to be the expert in any of these things.
That's right.
You do not have to be the expert. You don't have to perfect any of these things. You just have to have an understanding of what the game plan is. If they come over the sales and marketing budget, question it and understand what's the ROI on that, right? Or what is, excuse me, maybe there's no monetary ROI. Maybe there's something long-term that you're building. And I love that part about the sales and marketing team where like, oh yeah, I would be like, all right, we're going to spend $10,000 and we're going to make 40 out of it, right? 4-1, 5-1, whatever it was, right? And then I had to understand and step back and say, listen, it might be a long-term game plan that we're kind of coming up with when we're doing these giveaways or we're going out, reaching out to the community, reaching out to these different business people. Is that what you did when you were the general manager? Is that what you did with your sales and marketing team? Like understand where they're coming from as far as their game plan?
Yeah, no doubt about that. And I agree. It is sometimes a long-term plan. Like with that example I gave with the insurance company, it was well after RFP season, so it wasn't like we could bid on a new rate. We would have to wait for the next cycle. But I did that because I know when that next cycle comes around, when that person in that office gets our RFP, she's going to remember that we dropped off and we didn't try to push anything on her. We were just there, just saying hi. Great to have you in the neighborhood. If you need anything, we're here. And developing those relationships with your corporate clientele. Look, they're not all going to bring 500 and 700 room nights every single year. That's just not the way it is, right? But when you have that relationship, so for that one company that maybe brings 35, 40, maybe next year they have a large convention or they have a group training and they're bringing in now an extra 400 or 500 room nights to your hotel. That's all about relationship building, and it's all about maintaining that relationship with your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some great comments in here, guys. Thank you so much for commenting, guys. Don't forget, we are giving away a $50 gift card to smartguests.com before the end of the show. So please share it. Keep sharing your comments because I'm reading them as I'm listening to you, Todd. And people are coming up with some great, like Christopher says, yes, build a trust. Build trust and a friendship. People hate doing business and they hate being sold. That's what I hate. I don't like people sending me a message, a really salesy message, and it's all about sales. Like, send a message to me saying that you watched my show or something like that, or you've done business with me, or I like what you're doing, or you have a beautiful property here. Wow, how did you guys get started? How long have you been working here? Build a relationship before you're like, oh, I have this hotel and we're selling it for cheap right now because of COVID, right?
Well, absolutely, no doubt about that. And it's those relationships that you would have built up last year and the year before that are going to help you now. You never know when you're going to need. You never know when you're going to need some of that help, and certainly a lot of hotels do need that now. And so it's those relationships that you were cultivating for the past 12 months, 18 months that hopefully are paying dividends for you right now.
Absolutely. All right. So the next one on my thing, and it's not really it's not one of the topics, but it's cost savings.
Yep.
And as a hotel, we have a lot of different costs coming in, a lot of different expenses coming in from like all over the place, right? You have to understand, like, we're not just going to go blow this budget on one thing or blow this budget on several things. We have to understand cost savings when you're the leader at any business, especially hotels.
Without question. When we spoke a little bit about budgeting before, sharing those numbers and sharing those statements with your department heads, certainly making them accountable and making them responsible for what those numbers are. But in terms of cost savings, just because you have a budget of, say, $7,000 to spend on guest linen this month, well, if the occupancy was supposed to be 90% this month, but you're only 30%, you better not be spending $7,000 on guest linen. So all the numbers relate to one another. So you have to be smart about what you're spending because every department plays such a greater role in the overall financial success of a hotel. It's not just the rooms that make or break the place. It's how you manage your expenses as well that will put money in the bank.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not like the big Fortune 500 companies, that, oh, I have a budget, I better spend it right now because I will not get it back, or I have to spend it before whatever date, December 31st.
Right. That's right.
That's not how hotels operate. If we have a $5,000 budget for whatever, we don't just go blow it, right? And that's a mindset that people, especially GMs, need to place. Like, because you have the budget, that doesn't mean you should spend it. That money can stay in the owner's pocket, and one day it's going to come back to you, right? It's not like it's gone forever.
No doubt about that. And whether again, using the guest linen as an example, if you're not spending, the $7,000, maybe you can use some of that other money to spend it on something else that you need. If by chance, of course, depending upon occupancy and a whole bunch of other different factors. But yeah, you're right. Just because you have it doesn't mean you have to spend it.
Yeah, and the not the crazy thing, the amazing thing about hotels is every day is a different story. Every day something new pops up. And guys, if you believe that is true and that it happens to your hotel or it happens to hotels that you've worked at before, comment and let us know what's one thing that's happened to you that you didn't expect, like the boiler. And I've been there. I've woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and there's no hot water. Or this section doesn't have a hot water because it's gone, right? And or it stopped working, and then you have to deal with it, right? So that budget that you were saving on linen, guess what? It's going to move over to the maintenance part of the maintenance repair part of your allocation.
No doubt about it. I've been there as well, brother. I'm telling you, getting those phone calls at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. You better get up here. We got some trouble.
Absolutely. All right. So, and we'll talk about that. Like, maybe we'll get to it now. Actually, you know what? Let's get to it now. So here's the thing about being a hotel general manager. You have to be super flexible. You have to be flexible, but guess what? And you have to have that mindset that there's going to be a problem every single day, right? And it's not problems, it's just challenges, right? And once you put that in your mind that every day there will be a challenge, it's going to be okay, you feel a lot better going to work. You understand that this type of industry, this position always has these challenges that come up. So it's not like, oh yeah, the hot water blew and now your entire month is ruined and now you hate your job. No, this is part that, like, it's going to happen to every single hotel. No matter what type of hotel you are, something's going to happen where something happens or an issue happens. This is the hotel industry. This is our industry. And you have to have that mindset that it's okay. And I know a lot of GMs are like, oh, they start getting freaked out. They start stressing out because these issues pop up. And I look at it like this is a normal day. You understand that, right?
There's no usual day in a hotel. There's no regular day in a hotel. Some of the tasks are generally the same, as you go through your day, but something will always come up. And I guarantee everybody on this call today, something's going to happen. If not today, if not tomorrow, it'll happen before the month is out at your hotel. And you're just going to have to react to it. But I think that's one of the things that we like about the industry. It's not just a normal 9 to 5, where you're going in, punching out, and see you later. It's those different challenges and those different obstacles that come along the way, but it's also the different people you get to meet, right? So it's ever changing, and that's the best part of it.
Yeah, and Melissa says, no dull moment. Each day is a new day and challenge. Absolutely, every day is something different, and for us to understand that we need to stay calm. We can get through it, come up with a great game plan, come up with different options, right? It's not just like, oh yeah, I just called this one plumber and he can't come, so my day's over. We're gonna have to close the hotel down. No, as a hotel general manager, you are nimble, you are flexible, you make all these different calls to 10 different plumbers. That's what I do. I would call like 10 different plumbers. What is your price? How fast can you get here? And do you understand the exact problem? Because I've had issues where plumbers have come and they're like, oh, it's this, and then all of a sudden it's not that, it's something else, right?
Or someone calls sick. I mean, in a limited and select service environment, as opposed to like a full service hotel, you'll never see a full service hotel, work the front desk, or you have to help out in the restaurant because someone called sick. That's just not going to happen. But in a limited or select service environment, that I guarantee you that happens because I've done it. I've had front desk agents call sick, and you have no one, like there's no one else to fill the shift. Well, the hotel has to operate still, so I'll work. Or have someone call in sick at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you can't find a server in the morning. They can't get there until 9 o'clock. Well, breakfast starts at 7. Guess what? Would you like regular or decaf coffee?
Yes.
So I'm the one doing it. And again, that's the beauty of it.
And the beauty of it right now, even through COVID, and I've talked to a lot of full service hotel general managers, they're working the front desk because guess what? They have a skeleton crew. They have maybe 10 people or less, 5 people at their full service hotel just to keep it going, right? It might be about 200-300 hotel room where they're not busy at all, but they're just keeping it going. So part of being a hotel general manager is you have to take on that front desk position. If everybody quits tomorrow, are you ready to take on the front desk? Are you ready to clean rooms? Are you ready to do all these different positions, right? Because it happens.
And that's where the experience comes in, right? When we talk about operations before, you don't have to be the best guest service agent. You don't have to be the fastest housekeeper or a room attendant, but you have to know how to do the job. Just in case of. You will be depended on and you will be relied upon. And when the cards are on the table, you need to step up for it.
Yeah. I mean, I think you don't have to know maintenance. You just have to know how this thing works. And same thing with your maintenance guy fix. For me, when something breaks at the hotel and it's major, I don't just say, "Oh yeah, you fixed it." No, I want to understand exactly what happened, because guess what? As a general manager, it's going to happen again. And now you know what the steps it took to repair it, right? And that's part of the process.
No doubt about that. I mean, again, speaking about maintenance, you're 100% correct. I mean, listen, I don't pretend to be an electrician or plumber by any stretch of the imagination. But whenever we did have a problem, I wanted to be walked through what the process was and what the issue was and how it was resolved. Not to say that I could ever do it. However, if I had to be with somebody else and maybe just kind of give some opinions or give some ideas, I'm at least able to add to the conversation. Yeah, that's been there, done that.
Yeah, and Leo's right. It's hands-on management, no matter
Absolutely.
what, especially right now. Even luxury hotels, their general managers are being a little bit hands-on more than they were in the past, because they don't have the resources, right? And they don't have the budget, really. So it does make sense. Now, all right, so the next one is award-winning, right? And that's part of like you becoming a general manager. Like you're not just doing it just because you have a job, but there's something behind it, right? You have this passion for something, and part of it is being an award-winning GM at your hotel. And I know you've been a 9-time award-winning GM at a Hilton property. Share that experience and why you said, I want to become a award-winning hotel.
Well, we won the TripAdvisor Certificate of Excellence 9 years in a row, which is a fantastic accomplishment, and my team deserves certainly all the credit for that. And it's great to celebrate those wins and celebrate those successes for sure, but how you get there? Well, you have to build a service culture. You have to make great service part of the fabric of what people do every single day. And that's, full-time, part-time, the person who works, every second Sunday in housekeeping, they have to be all geared towards providing the best service they can provide. And it starts with the top, starts with the GM. He or she has to live that, and he or she has to constantly preach and reinforce, what her expectations are and really what her service philosophy is. She has to live it. He has to breathe it. It has to be something that you do every day. And that's how you had somebody on, you're speaking about 5-star service and 5-star hotels. You can give 5-star service in a limited service or select service hotel. It doesn't have to be the Ritz-Carlton in the Bahamas. It can be the Hilton Garden in Toronto Markham, giving fantastic service. We may not all have all the bells and whistles as they do in the Ritz-Carlton in the Bahamas, but I guarantee you our service is our service is just as good.
Yeah. And it's the interactions, it's the engagement. And our next topic, or the next one, is guest service and feedback. GMs have to be out there. You can't be a GM and be shy and be behind the desk, behind other people. Eventually, you have to come out into the light and talk to guests and understand, because you're really leading by example. Like if you're doing it and you're willing to go and clean rooms, guess what? Your team is ready to do it too, because they see you doing it, right? And you want those people behind you too.
100%. You lead from the floor, not from behind a desk. You manage by walking around. You're visible. Look, did we have some guest issues? Yeah, of course we did. Every hotel does. But whenever a guest wanted to speak with me, I know some places the GM will come out and stay behind the front desk because there's that barrier.
Yeah.
I never did that. I walked out behind the front desk, walked out in front of the front desk just so I could speak face to face with the guest. Because that does a few things. When it helps to kind of defuse the situation depending upon what the conversation is, but it also kind of puts things on a one-to-one level. But yeah, no, you have to be responsive to your guests. I mean, you are a huge supporter and proponent of TripAdvisor and getting as many surveys and results as possible. but you got to reply to those surveys. I mean, if someone takes the time to write a survey about your hotel or write a response about your hotel, thank them for it, positive or negative.
Yeah.
And engage with your guests. Be on the floor. Don't be hiding in your office. Don't be afraid to hear some of those negative comments. Don't be afraid to get that criticism. How are you going to grow? How are you going to get better? How are you going to win those 9 TripAdvisor certificates of excellence in a row? Well, you get out there. You get out there and you walk the floor and you live it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And, we talked about it, and I'll reiterate that if you're a GM and you're shy, you need to either learn how, and there's different ways of learning how to break out of your shell, right? I was a shy kid as a young kid. I was pretty shy, but I learned all these different processes through people, talking to people, getting out of my fear zone. I have that zone where I'm like fearful of things. I had to get out of it. And that's why I'm here doing this right now, because I got out of that fear. And that's what stops most of us from performing and being that award-winning leader, that GM, or that person that you wanted to become, because you're scared that someone is going to say something about you and it's going to make you feel bad. I let all that go. I don't really care. If somebody says that, and as long as I'm not hurting anybody, if somebody says, oh, I don't like your show, I'm okay. I'm not here for everybody. It's just like our guest and us being a leader at our hotel. We know our hotel's not for everybody. Even our staff, our vendors, it's not for everybody. It's for a certain group of people that we can connect with. They could trust us. We could trust them. And that's what I believe in. So if you're a GM, get out of your shell. There's different ways. Send me a message. I'll show you how to get out of your shell. And another way is make sure that you're showing your team that we need to be out there on the floor, like you were saying.
Well, it's again, that's just leading by example. And I can give you countless examples, but I'll give you one. I wanted our front desk agents to smile a bit more and engage a bit more with guests that are coming off the elevator or walking through the lobby. So in the morning when I got in, I'd usually walk around the restaurant, pour some coffee, clean some plates, shake some hands and say, how you doing to everybody. But I would stand by the elevator, and every single guest I got off the elevator, I'd smile and say, good morning, hey, how are you? Enjoy your day. Because if I tell the front desk to do it, but I don't do it, what kind of credibility is that? So you have to live what you're saying. And I made sure every time I saw a guest, I smiled, especially if I was on the floor with the room attendants, because I wanted them to do that. I wanted them to live and breathe it. And when you talked about being afraid and taking challenges, yeah, I think it's also all about how you communicate. And I want to draw a distinction here. It's not about fluency, because I know that English is not everyone's first language. It's about personality, so how you're able to communicate with somebody, how you're able to be empathetic, compassionate, how you're just able to kind of get yourself across in the conversation. You don't have to be, the most fluent person in English. You just have to be able to show your personality when you speak to your guests and to your team.
Yeah, I always say this. We do trainings and we're talking to a group of people, maybe housekeepers or whatever department it is, and you can't speak fluent English, say it in your language. I just want to be acknowledged as a guest. Yes. And I appreciate that. So if you're saying it in Spanish, say it in Spanish. If you're saying it in any other language, say it in any language. That's what guests want. That's what they remember. They remember that interaction. And that's what GMs do as far as being the leader, to show them it's okay that you can't speak fluent English. It's so totally okay.
That's right.
But we're here to support you with these different ideas, right? So I love that. All right, so Todd, you gave me 10 habits, and I hope you have them written down.
I do.
10 habits. No, these habits, I really believe that it could help you become a better leader, could turn you into a general manager if you're a front desk supervisor, front office manager, somebody. You could be a front desk person. Listen, I have a GM right now. She used to be the front desk person, a part-time front desk person 7 years ago. And I think she just worked her way up, and now she's a general manager. I love hearing those stories. I've heard stories of the housekeeper becoming a general manager. So it's not that you have to just only work at the front desk or whatever. You have an opportunity as long as you have the drive. You have to have that drive, first of all, right? What can you say about the drive as far as making yourself successful as a GM?
I started as a third shift room service server. So it's not impossible to become a general manager starting from an hourly employee. It is, and we'll get into these 10 points, but the first point is experience. It really is a long game. You can't just think, okay, I'm going to be GM, next year, and here's what I'm going to do. Well, look, it does take time. It does take steps. There are things you need to learn and grow along the way. And what I tell a lot of hospitality students, and even some people who are new to the industry, learn whatever you can about the position you have now. Know it inside out. Don't just apply for the next job because, well, I've been doing, GSA for 6 months. Now I want to try this, or now I want to try that. Learn as much as you can about the job that you have now, and then make a move. And then do that again, and then make a move. The more experience you can gather along your way, you have to believe me, it's going to help you down the road.
Awesome. All right. So number 2 is
communication skills.
I'm typing these in as we talk because I have that list.
Sorry. Yeah, communication skills. Like I said, it's not about fluency, right? It's about personality. It's knowing how to speak to people, how to speak to your team, how to speak to your guests, how to be empathetic when need be, how to be direct as well. I mean, let's just kind of be real about that for a second, right? I think a lot of the times we get bogged down so much in the words that we want to use, and we use so much filler language in what we're trying to say to try to fill a point. Forget that. Just here's what it is. Here's what we need to do. Here's how we need to fix it when you're speaking to your team, and let's just kind of move forward and get that. But you're right. There are numerous tips and tricks, I'm sure, that people can find on improving their communication skills. I would certainly encourage all of you, if that's something that you think that you need to work on it. It's going to help you.
I'm on mute. All right, so we said
I thought I lost you.
Next one is leadership skills and style. What does style mean? And then let's go to leadership.
Leadership style. My leadership style is participatory. I like to involve people in the process. I'm a very hands-on leader as well. So I guess that's probably another style that I have. But that would probably describe me best. There are other styles where it's more direct, I guess, hands-off, more people who delegate a lot more rather than do some of the jobs themselves. And really, that's neither here nor there. But my leadership style is more participatory and probably hands-on.
Yeah. And a good leader is showing those skills by leading by example. And that's number 4. Your number 4 habit of an awesome general manager is lead by example. Now, can you share an example of lead by example?
Yeah, I can certainly give you a couple. I like to celebrate, whether it's birthdays or anniversaries or special occasions, and not just, for my team, but for my guests as well. And so, and I want my team to be aware, because you always have to have your eyes open and your ears open to look for those memory-making moments, because you never know when you're going to hear something. I remember one Saturday morning, I was working in the restaurant, kind of helping the server or clearing some tables, and I hear this family talking about how it was her daughter's birthday that day. And they were having some family come in. They were going to do something that day. So I heard that, went to my office, got a birthday card, had everybody who was on staff there sign it. I mean, I was running around getting as many signatures as possible. And so then we got a piece of cake, did a candle, and then myself and the server brought it to the family. She didn't tell anybody it was her birthday. I just happened to hear it. So what I want the team to do is to be aware of those memory-making moments and don't miss them, because you'll never get a second chance.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, and people, your team sees like, oh my God, he just did this or she just did that, and that's awesome. And guess what? The next time they hear something like that, they take the initiative to do it themselves instead of somebody telling them to do it, right? And that's the whole lead by example.
No doubt about that. I mean, I had, again, I would always have a stack of birthday and anniversary cards in my desk in my office. And, at least a few times a week, they were like, yeah, can I get an anniversary card or a congratulations on your wedding card or a birthday card? We have a guest check it in today. No problem. Here you go. Take as many as you want.
That's cool. Now, when you're doing those things, you also have to have accountability.
Yep.
What does that mean?
accountability to yourself, and accountability for your team though. So if you have a meeting scheduled every Wednesday at 3 o'clock, right? Be there at 3 o'clock, and be there ready to participate in the meeting at 3 o'clock. Hold yourself accountable to that, but hold your team accountable to that as well. If there are certain deadlines that you need to meet, if you've made a commitment to a department head or an hourly team member that, listen, by this day I'm going to do this, or I'll get back to you on that time, do that. You can't expect your team to be accountable, and to hold those deadlines with you or with your guests if you're not doing it with them. So it's being at work on time and being productive while you're at the hotel. Not on your phone on social media, wasting away an hour just because you wanted to scroll through Instagram. It's being present.
Yeah, and I like that you said that you come to work on time because you are, like you said earlier, number 4 was lead by example. Same thing. If you're coming to work late, or if you're not professional at work, and people see that, your team sees that, guests see it too, even if it's not in their face. You're not like standing 2 feet away from them. People notice that, and then also your emotions are part of the accountability, right?
That's right.
Everybody has issues. We all have personal issues every single day. No one's perfect, including myself. Todd, you probably have issues too, just like I do, right?
I do.
We don't bring those to work, right? And it's like that step. As soon as you step on stage at Disney, you're on stage, right? It's a show.
I was just going to say that it's the old axiom in the industry. When you walk through that door, you're an actor on stage, and you have to put forth that character. And that character is welcoming, and that character is inviting. And hopefully it's not a facade, because again, guests can spot that. You certainly want to be genuine with the service you provide, right?
Yeah, and it's off. And with a GM, we'll talk about this. I think this is like the last one. All right, the next one is number 6. Out of the 10 habits for becoming an amazing GM, you have to have these habits. Number 6 is the passion to serve.
Yes.
Does anybody agree? Comment about passion to serve. And passion to serve means a lot of different things. Name a few, Todd, please.
A passion to serve to me means you actually want to help people. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I got into the industry. I like interacting with people. I like helping people. I like being the better part of someone's day, and so whether that's internal or an external guest, whether it's a team member or a hotel guest, you have to want to help people. And that is, for me, it's certainly one of the staples of my customer service philosophy. I'm very passionate about wanting to serve and wanting to help and wanting to make someone's days better.
Yeah, I mean, that's so important when you're talking about serving not only the guests, but your team, because they need that same warmth and welcome as your guest does, right? And another number 7 is the willingness to learn. I mean, that's huge. I know so many GMs that I've encountered in the past are like, I know everything. I don't like that at all. And I know this person's not going to last long at this position, especially if I don't even work there. I'm just talking to them as a not even a friend, just like someone I just met. And they're like, oh, I already know how to do that. I already know. Like, I don't like those people because they think they know everything. But guess what? There's always something new to learn.
They think they know everything, but they don't. What they know is certainly just the surface of probably what was needed to know, but they don't really know the ins and outs of it. Having a willingness to learn and learn new things. I'm the first person to admit if I didn't know something, and my team will back me up on that. And I'm also the first person to say, hey, listen, can you show me how to do this? Because I want them to also demonstrate that it's okay not to know something. Really, it is. But it's not okay to not know something and then not want to find out how to do it. That's not all right. So if you don't know something, great. We can work through that, and I can teach you. But yeah, I'm the first person to say that. If it's something I don't know, I want to learn about it and teach me. I've asked my hourly associates that.
Definitely. And break away from your pride. It's okay. It's okay. We don't know it. We don't know. I tell my kids it's okay. Like we all don't know anything. I don't know their math that they're doing right now in 8th grade or 9th grade. I'm like, I didn't learn this stuff. I forgot about it.
Tell me about it.
I don't know it all, right? And I think that's the same thing when we're talking about the hotel business. It's okay. right? I always look at it like, it's okay. I'm going to learn. I'm going to ask somebody, ask a friend, call a friend, right? All right. The next one is industry of the, or knowledge of the industry. And what does that mean exactly? Does it mean reading articles? Does it mean being connected? What does that mean?
Both, for sure. The connected part we'll cover when we speak about networking next. But industry knowledge, be aware of what's going on in the industry. If you work for Hilton, read about what Marriott's doing and vice versa. Be up to speed on this potential Hyatt this potential Accor IHG merger, which could be really earth shattering for the industry. That's neither here nor there. That's a whole other topic, I'm sure. But I love the industry, and I love working at my hotel and working with my team and with my guests. But I'm really passionate about the industry as a whole, and so that's a lot of the information that I share on LinkedIn. Whether it's I'm not beholden to one brand per se, because I just think it's all very interesting, and I think you better yourself by knowing what other brands and other companies are doing. The more information you have, the better for you, because maybe you can incorporate some of it.
Yeah, I love it. Like, I love that you can not only understand our industry, but understand other complementary industries,
Yes.
like restaurants. Because guess what? It could be part of your it could be part of your hotel F&B, right? Or a different way. If you don't have a restaurant, and you don't have anything, you just have like a select service property. Guess what? You can bring some of their marketing ideas, some of their customer service ideas into your hotel, and that's understanding industry knowledge in our hotel industry, and then outside of it too.
No doubt about that. There are so many newsletters you could sign up for. There are so many great people on LinkedIn you could follow. Rupesh, you're certainly one. Hey, I'll throw my name in the other one. But there are a lot of great people out there you can follow. You can learn a bit more about your industry. It'll help you down the road to learn more about it.
Yeah, one thing I would like to learn from our viewers here today is what industry, or sorry, in the hotel industry, what media do you look for to continue learning about and understanding? Comment, let us know. Is it an article, or is there a website that you read every single day? It might be hotel marketing, it might be hotel news now, it might be all hotel management. Please comment and let us know what resources you're using to continue understanding your knowledge and growing your career, basically, when you're understanding about the hotel industry.
Smartguest.com.
Excuse me?
Smartguest.com.
Smartguest. Gift is another one. I mean, there's so many amazing people sharing different parts of the industry that I just continue hitting the subscribe button to so many, and my inbox is always full. Real quick tip. This is another side tip, and people are saying skip. Side tip is, when you don't want your entire inbox full of all of these different resources, and there's a wealth of knowledge out there when it comes to the hotel industry, create another email on Gmail and have all that stream into one Gmail account. And that way you could open that Gmail account up and go through what's going on in the day and be done with it. So it's not bogging up your operations when you talk about your hotel market or your hotel operations or communications within what's going on.
That's exactly what I do. Sorry to interrupt you, but that's exactly what I do. I have a secondary email set up, and I've flagged, Google alerts, whether it's for Hilton, for Hyatt, for Marriott, and all the different brands. And so any news article that comes out, it goes into that email box. And so when I got time, then I kind of filter through it and scan through it, and I'll most likely come across something pretty interesting. A lot of it is repetitive, but I agree. Yeah, if you don't want your primary inbox filled with a lot of articles that are relevant and not, set up a secondary email.
100%. Guys, if you've loved this episode so far, hit the like button right now, or hit the love button, please hit the heart button, and let us know that this has been valuable for you. You've enjoyed this show so far. We have 2 more to go, and the next one, I love this, and I wish I could do more of this right now, because I would be doing meetups across the United States at your different cities, because that was my plan this year, to go to 6 or 7 different cities and do meetups. And it's networking. Yep. Huge for being a hotel general manager.
Without a doubt. And especially now, right? Listen, all things being equal, there are a lot of people who are home right now who are not working. They've either been furloughed, or they've lost their job, or their hours have been cut back. So, and everyone out there right now is networking and trying to gain connections, and not just grow the numbers, but to add value, to your profile, and to add value to your feed that you see on LinkedIn. So everybody who's on here, connect with each other. By all means, please do so. One little tip on networking and connecting with people on LinkedIn, though, please, for some of those people out there, when someone sends you a connection request and they accept, don't let your first message to them say, "Hey, can you get me a job?"
Yes.
That happens a lot, more often than people probably will think. The whole idea of connecting on LinkedIn is to gain knowledge and gain information. Sure, you're going to have that connection, but it's to grow your reach. I mean, it's a little bit more difficult to do that now face to face, but use this platform while you can. Certainly use it to your advantage.
Yeah, 100%. Network. Who you are is, or how you grow your career and how you are as a person is the people that you surround yourself with, and that's your network. It's online, offline. It's kind of all over the place. And right now with social media, it's a huge opportunity for you to grow your career. So
No doubt about that. And sorry, and just with networking again, I mean, network and connect with, some of the leaders in your brand or within your hotel company. When I first became general manager, full disclosure, I would connect with, some of those brand leaders at Hilton Garden Inn and with Hilton. So then when I would see them at conference, I was more than just, hey, yeah, there's that GM from Toronto. I was Todd. So I was able to kind of build up that face-to-face and build up some of that rapport. And that carried on at further conferences where I was just kind of hanging out with them. So it'll help you and further your career.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. All right. The final one, drum roll, please. And it is communication or community relationships. And, since the first one, it's always been about relationships. And what does it mean when we're talking about community as a GM? Because you're running your hotel. Why would I want to be in the community?
Listen, you want to be a positive and active participant in your community, regardless of where your hotel is. Whether that's, and I can give you some great examples of that. I organized a school bag drive for my hotel. I called up a few of my buddies. And I said, listen, here's what I'm doing. What do you think? And they were on board with it. We put together, I think, maybe 1,500, maybe 2,000 school bags with school supplies for some kids who needed it.
Sure.
And then I did a toy drive just at my hotel. I didn't involve anybody else. There's too much logistics going on. I didn't want to deal with it. So I started a toy drive. We did a toy drive 2 or 3 years in a row. And it's good for the team. It's good for the. I mean, listen, sure, it's a bit of a marketing thing, and all that's all well and good. But for team morale, to know that they're more than just a guest service agent who's coming in from 9 to 5 and going home again. To know that, listen, what we're doing here is actually going to help somebody. It is actually going to improve someone's life potentially. That does more for someone's morale and someone's spirit than you can really ever account for.
Yeah, and so what parts of the community can people be engaged in right now, even if they're not the general manager?
Well, whether it's I don't want to say whether it's shelters, the few of the ones that we dealt with, there were abuse awareness shelters. And so that's where a lot of our school bags went towards. And so for the toy drive, same thing. We donated to the same cause every year. And we gave some to the Salvation Army. And there was a few other places that we divvied up some of the toys to go to. So right now, what you can do, you know what? You can help your LinkedIn community. Certainly, you can be a bit more involved in the LinkedIn community. Again, full disclosure, when my job was eliminated from Hilton, I could sit around and pout all day about it. That's not going to really do anybody any good. So what I did was I put a message out saying, listen, I want to help. If there's anybody out there who needs help with their resume or help with their LinkedIn profile, shoot me a message. I'm not the best. I'm not the best person on LinkedIn. I'm not the best person with a resume. I've seen enough, and I pretty much know how to work them. And a number of people actually took me up on that offer, and I was grateful to have the opportunity to help them.
That's awesome, guys. Hit that love button right now, because I think that's amazing that, you were struggling trying to find a job, or you just got let go, and now you're helping others. And that's what hospitality people do. When you're talking about a GM, you're not just looking out for yourself or your team, but you're looking out for everybody around you. And that's how you become a really strong leader, no matter what position. And by the way, this is just a tip for if you're not even in the hotel industry. I know there's a few people that are not even in the hotel industry watching. Listen, these concepts can be taken to any industry, and you can outpace everybody just by doing these extra things that show that you care, right? And it's all about caring at the end of the day.
That's right, 100%. Listen, the industry is a people-first business. You can be technically strong as you want, but if you don't have those people skills, man, if you're not able to relate and communicate and empathize with your guests and with your team, you're going to struggle. So it's 50-50. You really need to have the human side of it.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Todd, this has been amazing. I've written down a bunch of stuff. Everyone on this chat has posted a lot of comments. I appreciate you spending some time talking to us and sharing these habits and these tips with us, because we all have dreamt of becoming a hotel manager one day, and it is possible for you guys out there, and know that it is possible for you to become a general manager, like 100% possible.
Yep.
Right.
Without question, it is. I mean, there are great stories out there, and I like to think that and hopefully I'll be a great story for somebody else. But before we do wrap it up, I would like to ask one thing. I know we're actually, you know what? We're going to give away that smart guest card, right? So
yes, we're actually reading the comments here, and thank you guys so much for commenting all these awesome side notes and tips, and like everyone's been reading them and like writing them down or saving them or rewatching this. But I've been seeing all the people that great engagement today, and today's winner for the $50 gift card to smartguests.com is Melissa Labonte. Did I say it right? Melissa, thank you so much for commenting here. Guys, congratulate Melissa on the amazing, just great engagement here. She's been sharing and just commenting on different people. Guys, thank you so much to her. And we do this every
Melissa, great job. Listen, can we add one more card?
We can add one. You want to add one?
Let's do one more card.
Don't add another card, but we can add another card if you want.
Let's do one more card. All right. So here's the question. And everybody hopefully was listening when I started this conversation. The first person to tell me what my first job in a hotel was gets another gift card. Go.
I forgot. I have a bad memory. Say it one more time.
The first person who could tell me what my first job in a hotel was, what was it?
Let's see. Everyone's congratulating Melissa now. Let's see if you pick his first job. All right, so Todd's first job, and the first person that says it wins a $50 gift card. Let's see if somebody guesses it. I'm sure we have some smart people on, and I know they're gonna remember that.
Vicky,
actually, I know it now too. So, and did we get it? Did we?
Boom, Christopher.
Christopher.
Hang on, to go back on that. Right on, Benjamin said it too. All right, Christopher, hang on, he was the first one. Christopher Soroka. Sikora. I certainly hope I pronounced your name correctly, Christopher. I apologize if not.
Christopher's been an awesome person. He comes on every week, so awesome! Congratulations to both of you, Christopher and Melissa, for winning the $50 gift card. Please send me a message on LinkedIn, and I will connect you. Todd, thank you so much. How can people connect with you and continue learning from you?
Rupesh, thank you very much for having me on today. Please, anybody, if you're on the call, you can connect with me and you can send me a message through LinkedIn. That's how you can find me.
Excellent. And I know that you were furloughed off and laid off of the Hilton because you worked for Hilton. You were for a long time. Last year, you took a position on that was a very appealing position that you wanted for a long time, like you told me. Can you explain what happened real quick?
Yeah, sure. Well, I was a GM for about 9 years, and then the job that I always wanted, a quality assurance manager with Hilton Corporate, came available. Took that job. I was the first one in Canada to have that. And so, again, job of a lifetime. A couple of months later, things go a little bit sideways. I'm furloughed for a little bit. And then, unfortunately, my job was part of the last round of cuts at Hilton Corporate. I'm unfortunately in the boat with a lot of other people. Sure. But yeah, that's now I'm just here talking with great people like you.
Well, I can just see you taking on another role here very soon. Maybe it's on property or being a operations manager for a management group. I see that. So guys, if you know anybody, I would love to connect Todd with that one or two people or 10 people and see if there's an opportunity for him. I love everything you post. You post relevant, related stuff that's happening in our industry right now. And so that's why I continue following you. And you're just an all-around good person. So thank you so much, Todd, for being on the show.
Thanks a lot, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. And thank you for everybody for watching.
All right, thanks, guys. Hit the like button if you loved Todd being on the show this week. And I loved it too, man. I think he's an amazing person. And guys, next week, I actually have a sponsor, and I'm not going to say who it is, but we have a new sponsor for the next month or so, and I'm excited about their solution because it's going to affect all of you, including me. It's affecting us right now. We're overspending, and this is a brand new sponsor. I'm excited about this. So find out next week when we talk about a new topic in the hotel industry. Guys, thank you so much for joining me here on this episode. This episode is brought to you by smartguests.com. Guys, please go there and hit the bookmark so you can save it later if you don't have time right now. But hit up Smart Guests. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We will tune in next Wednesday. Every Wednesday, I do this at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. And by the way, if you want to rewatch this, people are like, how do I rewatch this? I can't find it on LinkedIn. Go to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Rupesh Live. You'll be able to find the past 50 plus episodes and some amazing people. You're going to continue learning how to grow your career. And this is all relevant stuff. It's evergreen. So you can learn these topics for the rest of your life, basically, because these are topics that we bring on that continue helping all of us grow. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Bye.